You know, they're actually allowing the Biden White House. The journos are letting Biden's people vet and edit and change their quotes. That came out today. And they're trying to say, oh, this has been the policy with previous administrations. Yeah. Do you think that the journos gave a crap what the Trump White House wanted changed or edited in quotes? Are we really all going to act like we're so dumb we can't see what's going on right in front of our faces? I don't think so, friends. We know what's happening here. We got bumbling, stumbling Mr. Magoo Biden kind of in charge of the country, not really in charge of the country. We all know that he just takes orders from the puppeteers around him. And all it takes is a phone call from Barack Obama to get whatever radical left policy or decision that the apparatus of the Democrat Party wants. All he has to do is call Biden. Probably doesn't even have to call Biden. Just sends a text message to one of the people that's making sure Biden has a nice cardigan sweater over his shoulders and a sippy cup for when the cameras aren't around, right? That's all that's required. Tell the people who are Biden's handlers what he's got to say, what he's got to sign. Nobody really thinks this guy has any convictions. No one thinks Biden has principles. Biden doesn't think he has principles. He certainly doesn't have any leadership skills. This guy is the consummate slimy politician. He's been that for longer than I've been alive. We all know it. And now we are seeing the consequences. This is not just in rhetorical terms now. We are seeing what is happening as a result of Biden policies and decision making. And this is a shame, but it looks like we're going to have to suffer the consequences as a country. That's the only way more people will realize how stupid all of this is. Oh, you're also seeing in inflation. They were saying, oh, there's no inflation. Okay. Well, in April, consumer prices jumped up 4.2%, the most since 2008. That's a lot. That hurts in an economy where we should be seeing an explosion of growth and hiring and prosperity and optimism. What are we seeing? A stall? A stall right now and rising inflation? Remember, with that comes higher prices for everything. And the dollars that you've worked so hard to save and put in your bank account, they're worth less. Right now, with interest rates where they are, if you are saving money and you're doing everything the way you're supposed to, you're working hard, you're playing the game in this economy the way that everyone tells you you're supposed to, at the end of the year, if you just put your money in a savings account, your money is worth less, and it's going down every year. At this current rate, it's going down every year. And that's substantial. I mean, if it's going down 4%, even if you had your money in the stock market, let's say you get an average return of, 6 or 7% a year, which is pretty good, by the way. But if you're getting that cut in half, and plus you have a down year here or there, losing money, people losing faith in the system. There's going to be inflation. But, you can listen to me, or you can listen to the deeply unimpressive halfwit who is the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, and she's telling you, drawing upon her PhD in economics from Cambridge, which of course she does not have. Not that would change my opinion of what she says anyway. That don't worry, any inflation, it'll be a quick, a little tiny bit of inflation. Play 11.
We are expecting new inflation numbers out tomorrow, and I'm wondering if the gas price surge and the continuous commodity surge like lumber is changing the administration's outlook at all on inflation.
Well, let me first say that, of course, the Federal Reserve, I would point you to them to speak to or provide analysis or speculation on anything as it relates to inflation or the impact of certain external actions. I will say, as we've said in here before, but we'll reiterate that, of course, we take the possibility of inflation quite seriously, as actions that have been taken to date or proposals that have been made. Most economic analysts believe that it will have a temporary or transitory impact.
Oh, yeah. Most analysts, most economists. I love how Democrats think they can cite this as if, done deal. What does that even mean? Most economists? How transitory is it? oh, all inflation is transitory unless you have a total collapse of your currency. And you could even argue that's transitory because when your currency goes belly up, it ends. So there's no more inflation. It's just maddening to watch the way the media is defending everything about this Biden administration. There are multiple intersecting and expanding crises going on right now in America. Things that affect you. That's what I care the most about here on the show. What affects you and me? And when you're talking about rising inflation, a spiking murder rate, not just from last year into this year, but this year compared to last year, which was already way up. So you've got more violence in America. You've got inflation rising. You've got people not going to work because they're making more money staying home. You've got, enemies, the wolves circling, so to speak, all over the world. Obviously, Russian cyber hacker group here not scared of us with what they've done on Colonial's pipeline. Hamas recognizing. You think Hamas would have gotten this frisky with Trump in office? I don't think so. Things change. Things change rapidly. The bad guys know the truth of leadership in America right now. They know the difference. And, you've got terrorists that are willing to mess around and find out now, They can mess around, see what they can get away with. You have all of this happening, a border crisis, the worst numbers in at least 20 years, really the worst numbers ever for illegal crossings. And what is the media focusing on? Oh, the Liz Cheney leadership fight. Oh, the Liz Cheney leadership fight. Really? I mean, yeah, it's a news story. It's a second hour of the radio show, maybe, fourth page of the newspaper news story. But, sure enough, that's what you can expect to see. That's the kind of focus. What do you see on CNN right now? Top of the page, biggest story on CNN. GOP ousts Cheney. That's right. What do they need to feed their audience? A steady diet of Republicans are at each other's throats. Sure. Yeah, that's what's really important right now. No one's even going to remember the Cheney fight. I mean, it's interesting to me as somebody who cares about the GOP's future, the direction of the party, but that's because I'm the way I am about politics is the way producer Mark is about hockey, right? I get deep into it. I'm a nerd about it. It's my job. So for normal people, the Cheney fight, I mean, whatever, who cares? We'll talk about it a little later. But notice that the media, there's no narrative of crisis right now. And all you have gas lines, for heaven's sakes. You've got 30% of gas stations in some states without gas for people. That's really anxiety producing, folks, as you all know. That hurts your ability to go to work. That shuts down business deliveries. That is a nightmare for folks. And the Biden administration's, kind of blasé about the whole thing. Oh, yeah, it's a private sector. Colonial's private sector. They'll figure it out. I don't know. Who needs gas? You got a bicycle? Maybe you ride that. Do your deliveries. You could do like an old milk truck and you sort of push it, Just buffoonery. Nincompoopery on a massive scale from Biden and his team. And this is entirely unsurprising because these are unserious people. They're serious about their statism, their socialism, their authoritarianism. Don't get me wrong. But their ideas are those of unserious human beings who do not have knowledge, wisdom, and self-reflection worthy of any power. That's the truth of Biden and the people around him. They should be in charge of nothing. But because the left has seized the commanding heights of major institutions all across the country over a series of decades, because the socialists have infiltrated the Democrat Party, and now the socialists are increasingly showing us that they're actually communists, yeah, I know, guess what? They're able to win the battle of propaganda, to win the perception fight enough to just eke out the power to do stupid things like we're seeing all over the country. And we suffer as a result. But Does it even matter as far as the Democrats are concerned? If they can convince people that this is just happening, or it's not happening at all, right? It's either a situation that's beyond Biden's control, or what situation? The way they're trying to cover for Joe Biden right now is exactly as we anticipated. It's exactly what we thought. And thank God that there is conservative media out there. Not just me. There are many voices right now, but I think, this radio show is the best radio show, obviously. Podcast is the best podcast. But I'm thankful for the others on my team, so to speak, generally, out there in conservative media who are holding up the mirror to this administration and seeing what an ugly mess it is.
Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.